the Craft Beer Hub. I'm at Vibrant Forest, and they've very kindly welcomed me in. This is...
Hi, I'm Ryan, the GM here at Vibrant.
Oh, you're GM?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. See, Ryan's GM here, so he's going to answer all questions related to Vibrant Forest, what they get up to, everything like that. Firstly, Ryan, we're probably going to want to address what's in this glass.
Yeah, let's do it. So this is Misty Woods. This is a 6% hazy IPA. Originally, it was a collab that we did with Clapton Craft, so our friends at Clapton Craft, and we knock it out at least once or twice a year. So this is a couple of days old now.
Oh yeah, you were saying it's literally cans.
Yeah, we haven't even poured it in the tap room yet. So what
right.
we now went, so it's 2 days old now. So it's a big hitting sort of American IPA, like nice and piney, fruity, sticky. We really like it. Like it's one that we look forward to every year, pretty much. Yeah, it's a good one.
It's probably the perfect beer when I think of Vibrant Forest. I think of three styles. I think of lovely hazy pales.
Yep.
I think of big IPAs.
Yeah.
And for reasons that I discussed with you earlier, I think of imperial stouts. So, should we go in for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get an aroma, see what we get. Yeah, it's got that lovely pininess to it. Quite robust. Bit of orange, bit of peach as well. It smells really good. Oh yeah, I know what you mean about sticky. Yeah.
Right at the end.
Lovely big piney notes. Probably a straight down the middle, I don't want to say West Coast because it's not, but it's a good proper IPA this, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the theme of a lot of our beers is even when we try and go softer, New England styles, we always try and keep a touch of bitterness in there.
Yeah.
For us, it's that little bit that just keeps you wanting to come back and try it again and have another sip and another bit and another can and another pint.
Yeah.
So that's what we try and do, and I think this one sort of incorporates that really, really well.
Absolutely.
It is bitter, but it is also, there's a juiciness to it, a lot of fruit in it, but yeah, that sticky dryness at the end. Keeps you wanting to go back,
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. Right, on to Vibrant Forest yourselves.
Yep.
What's your mission? Where do you fit in? Where do you fit into the craft beer world? What's your attitude? What is the thing that makes your beer stand out?
So for us, it's full flavoured, premium, high quality beer. That's where it begins and ends with us ultimately. We have a load of stuff that we have, that we do. We do mixed firm stuff, and we do dark imperials and barrel aged stuff. But I think where we really hang our hat is sort of big IPAs, big pale ales, even our sort of sessionable pales at 4-5%. Big flavours, really good quality. I think with beer, obviously you can't make beer, every beer not everyone's going to like. That's not how it works. True. But I think everyone can sort of appreciate quality, whether they might not agree with the taste necessarily. Everyone can agree with quality, and then after that it's all subjective, what your preferences are. So I would like to think that everything in our range is high quality. People can appreciate the quality, the quality of it, and then after that it's all sort of subjective and flavours. But yeah, it's real sort of I guess it's crafty beer, isn't it? So it's all big juicy flavours, stickiness, sort of piney notes, all the tropical fruits you can pick out, and all that sort of stuff.
And I think as well, if we're going to talk quality, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I contacted Vibrant Forest because they genuinely are one of my favourite breweries in the UK. I find that the quality is there. I find that often they're very reasonably priced as well, which is obviously a big barrier for a lot of people because craft beer can be a bit on the thick side of when it comes to money. But I think personally, when you go into a Vibrant Forest shop, I mean, you can see from the fridge behind me. I don't think you can see. It's just a kaleidoscope of colour. Yeah. And I think they do a beer called Kaleidoscope as well, which is quite funny. But it is a kaleidoscope of colour. So the quality starts visually. Then you pick up a can. Then you've got this lovely textured can wrap. The designs are normally very, very interesting. And the beers do smell and taste very, very good. Obviously, you've been around now as a business since, was it 2011 when you first started?
Officially. So, really quick history. So, Kev is our director. Basically started part-time in his garage. This is all from Kev's garage where we are now. He went full-time 2014, where we had one unit over in Lymington area, which is like about 20 minutes from here. One little bit of kit, obviously mass time and all that great stuff that we still use today, still here. And then that was up to 2019 we moved here. Now here is 4 units, like you've just seen. Yeah. Brew house, production room, sort of some barrel aging stuff, and obviously a 2-story like big tap room as well. So it's all been organic, it's all been slow growth, hopefully trying to make the right decisions at every turn. Not trying to take on to anything out of our reach, doing things for the right reasons, but it always comes back to the quality of the beer. We're 13 years old now. Obviously, if you're going to ask me, I'm going to say that we're not as well known as we should be. but that's our job. That's our job to get people to know. But we like to think that we're doing things the right way. It's all focused on quality, not trying to rip people off, not trying to not trying to really pump the prices up and stuff, and not necessarily playing into too many trends if we don't believe in them. Trends come around for right and wrong reasons, and for us, if we believe in it, we'll have a go, definitely. But for us, it all comes down to the quality of the beer.
Brilliant.
And then we hope that we can everything builds from that. If
Yeah.
you've got a good base and your morals don't wobble, you can sort of build on.
I could probably say from a consumer perspective, I've consumed Vibrant Forest beers now for the thick end of 3 years, and the beers are they're very similar 3 years ago to where they are now in terms of quality. I think the quality's gone up certainly in the lagers, the last few that I've had, but in terms of the IPAs and pales, I find that the quality is absolutely where it was then is where it is now, and I quite like that because you know what you're buying. It's not too much. Because certain breweries, and I won't mention certain breweries that I've bought from. I've had the odd kind of weird year. And it's often related to, when you dig a little bit deeper, it's often related down to sort of fast growth or overstretching. So it's interesting you say about slow growth because I think you can taste it.
There's obviously, it's always that thing. There has been opportunities where things have come along, and ultimately it's that tempting thing. But then you have to. It's not about what the next 2 years, it's going to be the next 5, the next 10. So if we do that for the next 2 years and then whatever that is goes away, are we still going to be in a good position? Will I have to lay anyone off? Will we have to sell some stuff?
I suppose that's
etc.
the decisions you're making.
Exactly. So it's all about, like I said, it's all about quality. It's all making the right decisions for the right reasons. Because we love it. We love the industry, we love the beer, and we want to be around in it and amongst it and part of it for a long, long time. So there's no need to make silly decisions if we plan to be here forever, hopefully.
Sounds about right. Right then, next question. COVID. big thing, especially for brewing. I've got some friends in the brewing industry, and it's probably one of the darkest days of their careers. Some breweries modified and came out probably a little bit better out of it in terms of how they operated. I think they sort of cut a lot of the crap off their business a little bit. That's the kind of overriding thing that I'm getting from at least 3 of the people that I know. How did Vibrant Forest, how did you deal with it? And how does the business change? How's the business changed?
All right, so obviously it was tough. There's no getting around that. And it was very tough. There was obviously business decisions that had to be made in order for the business to survive. That maybe everyone wasn't happy with at the time. But we ultimately believed it was the right thing. Like I said to you earlier, it was kind of like you almost have to shut the gates, shut the doors, double down on everything, reassess how you are, how you can survive, and what's going to make you come out of it. And I suppose for us, 2 things happened. Well, the main thing that happened was the support locally was incredible. So we've done some, obviously, like a lot of people were doing sort of local home deliveries for free, draft beers for free, and all, free home deliveries, all that great stuff. So actually, prior to COVID, we didn't have a canning machine on site.
Wow.
So we were using obviously mobile canners and stuff. So we were really grateful that by the end of sort of the first main lockdown, a lot of our can stock had gone pretty much. So we actually, in between, before it locked down again, we managed to get out and get another canning machine in the building, a big investment. But that then allowed us to continue through COVID the second time round, make fresh beer, can it, get it out as soon as we could. And it was fantastic in that, and that actually let us come out of it in a pretty good way. Then obviously with the taproom space you've seen, like outdoors, when there was that whole sort of tables and outside and 6 people and all that nonsense.
You had to eat, have a beer.
That's it, all that stuff. We were able to sort of accommodate that by having so much space, having tables, and we had, so no one was allowed to sit inside. We had like an app system. We could take beers out to people, so that was fantastic. In terms of negative business side, the biggest thing that changed was our export market. That's a combination between COVID and Brexit. So prior to COVID and Brexit, export was about 40% of our total trade sales.
Was it really?
It was.
Where was it going a bit?
So we don't really shout about it at all, really.
No.
So we're doing a lot of Scandinavians like Norway, Sweden, Finland, Italy, France, Japan. A bit in Asia stuff as well. So we were doing a huge amount. It was just sort of going on in the background quite happily. A nice little big trip to a beer festival every now and then, just to sort of shake hands and stuff. But that was fantastic. But since then, you can imagine with the increased costs and all that sort of stuff, that's sort of gone. pretty much like maybe 10%, 5% of the business. Like,
Right.
again, it's like we're trying again now, so it's like a reset. Like,
Yeah.
let's go again. So we were lucky enough to go over to Italy last year for a beer festival.
That's the dream, that is, I tell you.
It's a tough job, mate. It's a tough job. I managed to get over to Norway about 2 months ago to Sevenfield Brewery, and they had like a 10-year anniversary, so we managed to get over there and sell some beer. But it's a whole process now, like almost completely starting again. And we found that I spoke to a few different markets over the last 2 weeks actually, and they're saying that since COVID, a lot of people enjoy beer looking closer to home, and they want more sort of craft beer, diverse beer from their own country. The import market for a lot of these countries that we were dealing with has sort of gone down a lot.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was speaking to someone, I know a chap works for a distribution company called Tap In, I think Darren might have spoken to him, and he was saying the localised thing is absolutely huge, but he said what they're finding is people are generally going for the high, they're up for drinking less but more quality.
Yeah, I get that, absolutely.
So I suppose that falls right into your hands.
Yeah,
really.
and I suppose that's come quite evident in normal trade sales. So, like I said to you earlier, we deliver London, Bristol, sort of down south, and we've still got a lot of the customers. Unfortunately, some are gone, which is terrible. We do keep a lot of the customers that we have had before. However, I would say that for some of them, the confidence is gone. So where before they might take a load of beer once a month, you know, like a full van maybe, and that'll get through the month. Now it'll be like, can you come every 2 weeks, and we only want 2 or 3 or 4 beers. So the customers are still there and they're still drinking beer, like you said, but I think the confidence is gone, and people want less of better rather than more of sort of less quality maybe.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because certainly it's interesting when you look at the bigger, the kind of the global brands, they're acquiring more of these like premium, you know, I mean, I think you think of lagers and you think of premium lagers and you think sort of the companies that have acquired people like Peroni, Cruz Campo's the latest one, and it's kind of interesting that they're moving away from their kind of like Foster's y Carlings bit, and even they're looking at your premium stuff.
Absolutely.
Which is quite
Everyone's
interesting.
trying to premiumise as much as they can, for whatever reason. You know, we know that, you know.
But often, I mean, to be fair, how much it retail roughly? How much is a can of your New Zealand dry hop lager that I had the other day that was very, very good?
I don't know, somewhere $4.50 a can we sell. So, you know, this is Misty Woods, so 6% IPA.
Yeah.
That's going to be $4.50.
That's $4.50. A 6% IPA. I mean, you go on some websites. I mean, you'd be looking at upwards of £5.50, £6 for that in some cases. But that's really good to know, and I think you probably certainly a local following. They don't want to pay over the odds today.
Yeah, I mean, we'll range like £3.80 for a Black Forest, like a porter or a lager, up to £6 maybe for a big IPA or something new, you know, something that we haven't done before that maybe we've added a load of new hops in or a load of malt and stuff. But you just, as long as you've got range and it's fair, you know, there's no point having it one for, you know, the next time you release it go up. There's just no need for that. And we all know there's like, in the brewing industry especially, the price has gone up of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Name the ingredient or the, you know, the energy source has all gone up. So it's just, there's always that balance of, we're businesses, we at some point something's got to get passed on, but if we just start hoiking it now, like, it's bad news for everyone really. So we've got to try and offset that cost however we can, you know, or make up for it in other places. So. Yeah,
no, absolutely. It's a very common story. Very common story. So I'm not expecting the most radical of answers here because you are a slow growth company and I really respect you for that. But what's next for Vibrant Forest? What do the next three years look like?
Oh, who knows, mate. Hopefully we'll still be here. I think I can tell you the next year, because we've talked about that quite a lot. So the next year for us looks like more good beer, obviously, but we want to get our name out there a little bit. But we want to do it in the right way that we think is the right way. So by that I mean going places, telling people our beer, telling people our stories, showing them, tasting them, face to face. And then just slowly growing and moving up the country as well. Maybe like I said, we do some stuff over past London, but for us, like that's such a small part of the country.
It's worth actually saying I should have said it at the beginning. We are on the eastern edge of the New Forest. We're further south than the city of Southampton. Probably, you know.
We're down here, mate.
We're way down here. So cracking the north is probably a huge
and
thing,
like I said, as long as we can do it in the right way, like we wouldn't want to do anything silly. But like I said, we're up at Newham.
In Manchester.
So that'd be big for us. Hopefully, we'll get to do some stuff in the city. We were next to Squawk Brewery at London Craft Beer, so we're hopefully going to go up and see them.
I was saying earlier, I miss these guys at London Craft Beer.
We were hidden away. I managed to redecorate the ceiling with a keg. They weren't walkies, but I haven't had the bill through for that, so hopefully we're all right. But yeah, so hopefully we'll go up and have a beer with them and sort of just chat. And I think that is the right way of doing it for us. That's the way we want to do it. We want to go and meet people, build relationships, because I think anyway, a lot of people get into this industry for the right reasons. We like having a beer, we like having a chat, we like having a laugh, and you have to keep that close when you're doing business. I would never want to do business with a brewery or someone, you know, supplier or whatever that we don't know, that's been over the phone, that we've never met before, and they promise us the world. I'd rather go and meet someone, sit down, have a coffee, have a beer, have a chat, and then you always find common ground. Like how fun a beer festival is, like, because that's all it is, just going around talking, meeting new people. So that's what we love to do, and that's what we really want to do more of. Like you've seen the site, there's obviously room for growth here.
Absolutely.
But that'll come. I'm sure that'll come. We're in no rush. You know, we're not pre-ordering any new tanks or anything just yet. But we've got a bit more to go until we hit capacity with our current setup. And then for us, it's just more of the same, but sort of a wider outreach. Hopefully, get out and about a little bit.
That sounds pretty good. We kind of talked about it before, but for someone that's, because there will be a few people that are watching this that have not bought a Vibrant Forest beer before, what can they expect? I know we kind of spoke about it a little bit. What can someone expect?
So you go on our website now. I don't know off the top of my head. I would guess there would be 25 different styles of beer in can. Not styles, sorry, 25 types of beer in can. So that's all your ways from sessions, IPAs from like 3.5%, pale ales, IPAs, like I said, we've got a few sours on there now, and a load of sort of barrel-aged stuff. So first of all, variety. But I would like to believe the quality sticks with the variety. Obviously, really good branding. I think, as well.
Yeah, it does look. The cans do look good.
Yeah, and just really good quality and stuff, and it's rotating for it constantly. So we have our best-selling beer is a pale ale called Pupa. 4.5%. Now that's the only beer that we make all the time.
Okay.
Everything else is as and when we want to.
Right.
And we feel like it's the right time. Obviously, if something goes well, like the first time we make it, obviously it's going to get made again. But then once it's made again, or once something goes really well, we might just stop then and then leave it for a few months or a year. So like, for example, I think there's a beer coming out very soon, a double IPA called Caldera Lake.
Right.
We haven't brewed that for 4 years.
Right.
So we like to keep it moving. So every time we go on the website, I'd like to think there'd be something new. That doesn't mean we're pumping out beer, new beer, because we can't stay away from that. But we're just rotating all the time. Something different to have a look at. There'll always hopefully be something you've never had before.
And our little website is
vibrantforest.co.uk.
There we go. I'll link it in the description for everybody. Honestly, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for the beer as well.
No, it's my pleasure.
If you find yourself in the New Forest, guys, number one, these guys are everywhere generally, but if you want to come to a really beautiful tap room and drink some good beer as well, we are near Hythe. Yeah,
just look for Vibrant Forest. We're basically near Hythe, so you can get the boat over actually from Southampton. I think it's like the world's oldest beer or something. So there's ways to get here. It's not the easiest place to find, but it's worth it. Have a walk around the forest, come and have a beer, and we'll look after you.
Perfect. Thank you very much for having me, guys. Vibrantforest.co.uk. I'll link it in the description if you want to have a little look. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've had any Vibrant Forest beer and what you thought of it. If you haven't, I recommend you pick some up. Not just because I'm here. I wanted to be here because, and it sounds so bad, but I wanted to be here because they genuinely are one of my favourite breweries in the UK. Guys, like and subscribe if you'd be so kind. I will see you on the next one. Cheers.
There you go.
Boom.